What's up, Instagram fam? The boys are back. The screw ups are back with another episode of the SUS podcast. Baby, you're gonna like this episode. Yeah, you will. But you're gonna like our guest even more. Yeah, because our guest is the water boy of the Phoenix Suns. With that said, are you hyped? I'm hyped. Let's go!
Breaking news.
First and foremost, I would like to apologize for the cold open that I just did. It has been made known to me that it was ridiculous and that I was being unprofessionally irresponsible. It was not my intention for the cold open to be as bad as it was, and I have since taken responsibility for my actions. If you're still watching, thank you. If not, understandable. Have a nice day.
1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome, friends, to our podcast where the topics range wide and the vibe is lax. Screw up sesh. Welcome, everybody, to the SUS podcast.
What's up, Instagram fam? Or should I say, podcast fam? So it's another episode of the SUS podcast. We're happy to have you guys here with us. So after two straight episodes of nighttime recordings, we are back in the daytime. The sun is shining, as you can see on my window behind me. Speaking of sun, the Phoenix Suns have just advanced to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2010. So congratulations. I had to include that because our guest here today is a Phoenix Suns fan, so I thought it would be appropriate. Anyway, this episode is a very important episode for us. Like even before we started putting out content, back when we were just brainstorming for ideas of episodes or content, the topic that we will be discussing for this episode was one of the first things that came to our minds, and it just made sense for us to do an episode with this topic, with this guest. So I'll leave it to Anton later to explain like what we will be talking about for today. But first and foremost, let's introduce our guest. So apart from being a Phoenix Suns fan, he was our batchmate in high school. So again, we're all from CSA here, much like the previous episode. So CSA forever. I'm even wearing a CSA shirt. So, and then this guy was also my blockmate in college. And I can definitely say that this person is one of the coolest, nicest, and most well-spoken individuals I know. And it's an honor, and we're very excited to have him here with us today. And without further ado, our guest for today's episode of the SUS podcast is none other than Mr. Tristan Tano. What is up, my dude?
The honor's all mine, man. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
But that was like a part of it. But I've always wanted to like make a podcast because I saw all these guys online like just talking their minds into a mic and then it going right like just they're just having conversations and it's making such a big impact and such a big influence. And it's a phenomena that's incredible for me to see. I would be amiss if I didn't mention of course you guys know Joe Rogan. He may be the biggest podcast host ever. He may have the biggest podcast ever of all time as of right now. And you know what he does, he just sits down and talks to his guest and just about anything at all. So I looked at that and I said, okay, if that bald guy can do it, maybe I can do it too. I mean, nothing against bald guys, but not just because I have long hair. But Joe Rogan, sometimes he goes off the rails, sometimes he's very spot on. But what I really loved about his podcast is he basically just publicizes his conversations with his friends, with his guests, with anyone. And I thought that was amazing. So sabi ko, okay, why can't I do this? If he can do it, why can't I do this? So I said, okay, let's start a podcast. But what would it be about? I can't be like Tristan Tano experience, because I mean, what the hell? What the hell is a Tristan Tano? I don't really have Joe Rogan's name or anything. It's it's incredible to me because the meaning of life is kind of like there's no certain answer to it. Like it's not like a test that has multiple choices and one is the correct answer. I look at it as a puzzle that everyone has a certain piece to. So it's a universe-sized puzzle. And every single life, every single perspective fits into that. No opinion on the meaning of life is can be debunked or can be uh disregarded, because everyone has a life and everyone has their meaning to their lives. No matter how good or how evil a person is, they have their own lives and they have their own perspectives. So I just wanted to bridge those perspectives together to formulate this picture of what life means to these different people from different walks of life. I guess. I think that's what I've been trying. Maybe, I don't know. I try to.
Ano mo yun? Like, every time I watch an episode from your podcast, I feel like I learn something new, especially if it's a topic I haven't, I don't know anything about. So it's
Thanks,
really
man.
insightful, man. And I'm really happy that you were able to create this like outlet for people to just voice out their thoughts, opinions. We've mentioned this like time and time again, even in our episodes. Na parang like podcasts for us is like an outlet for people to either reconnect or meet new people, but talk about anything.
As we walk on this road called life, syempre naman, we don't walk on the same road because each and every one of us have a different experience. It was already taught to us at a very young age, from grade school, from the master, Mr. Robert Frost, the road not taken. So syempre, we take each road that's not yet taken because it's free and available. And no one's using it, so might as well use it. But it's also a road, and a road is out there. And outside, we are naked against the elements of nature. So we're defenseless against this element of nature. That's why, as we talk about this meaning of life, we need to have the best equipment so that we can further protect ourselves, defend ourselves against whatever life throws at us. And since this road, this life, this podcast, all mashed up together, I must ask you, in this podcast road, what's the best equipment? What's the best apparel para we can further protect ourselves and further share our experiences on this mosey down wonderful road that everyone calls.
That segue was
Yeah, man.
spectacular.
Yeah, I was gonna
man.
ask if you
Okay.
wanted tissue so you could wipe your tears.
I wasn't crying.
Okay.
Pero
The premise,
to go
the premise to
philosophical,
such a
eh.
simple question, though.
Yeah, I
Yo.
know. He wrote his own poem na.
What you said, man, when I started, it didn't go exactly as planned, of course. I didn't know anything about podcasting before. Like, kala ko lang you just talk and you just upload and everything. But when there's no other way to learn unless you do. So if you just, you can read all the books about cooking that you want, but you don't really know how to cook. You won't really know how to cook if you don't actually cook. So it's kind of like, you just have to put yourself in the fire and just do it. Just Nike sponsor.
Don't put yourself in the
Just
fire
do
if
it.
you're gonna cook. Mas tulog
Nike.
ka eh, di ba?
But just like,
You put the food
yeah, kaya
in the fire.
kaya
You
sunog
don't
yung
put
kaya
yourself
sunog
in
yung
the
balat ko
fire.
ngayon. That's what I do. Siguro the struggles of starting a podcast, of course, in starting out, is generating ideas on what you want to talk about and being comfortable. Um, Ideas will come. For me, I think ideas just appear out of thin air sometimes, and sometimes it comes from brainstorming. The good thing about your setup, says Brew Up Sessions, that you guys are four people. So you
Yeah.
guys, kunyari,
Yeah,
Anton
four
has an
times the
idea and can
brain
pitch it to
power.
you guys. Yeah, four times the
Yeah.
brain power. So kunyari ganun nga. It's incredible to it's incredible to exchange ideas with each other. But on my case, it's just me. So sometimes I'm just really mind blocked on who should I get next, what should I talk about next. I don't know, ganyan. And it's a matter of getting inspiration from the people around you and the things you consume and the things you read and things you watch.
Yeah, we went through like a similar experience. We were trying to find like what sound will be,
You guys
perfect
have
for
the
us. But then
perfect
Anton was just like, you know what?
theme
Yeah.
song, man. You guys
Anton
have
was
the
like straight
perfect-
up, he got his ukulele and he's like, welcome.
Yeah, I actually did it live, and I was like, "How do you guys feel about this?" They were like, "Yeah, it's
We-
good."
we-
Then I
we
made my
love
voice
it.
super gago, and they were like, "Okay, play the one that's really gago." And I was like, "No, no, no." They're like, "Yeah, just keep it. It's okay."
That's perfect, man. That's
Yeah.
hands down, hands down.
Well, now the
The
whole world knows
white
that I'm the
is
one who made the.
black.
Yeah. Yeah,
But thanks,
we
man.
were,
I
we were
appreciate
like,
it. It makes the struggle easier to hear my voice every week.
yeah.
Holy
It took
jazz,
like
holy jazz.
that took like a week though until like you thought of like the song. You were like thinking, oh shoot,
Yeah.
how are we gonna do our intro? Like I don't think we can like shell out money yet because recent graduates, our savings isn't the best, So we were like,
Yeah.
shoot.
We
We were
have
just
no
thinking, okay,
savings.
let's see non-royalty. And it's like, none of it fit the vibe. Then thank God, Anton's brain just like, I have an idea.
I had no
Yeah.
brain when I was making the idea, so just thought of the catchiest, dumbest thing that we could play on the spot. Because like the Adventure Time theme song is actually like kind of
Yeah,
what
the
inspired, and the
the
Jax
inspiration.
Oh.
theme song. I don't know if you guys, yeah, Jax got
I didn't notice that.
old like YouTuber before. He had his cousin on for one episode, and she made like an on the spot like ukulele song for him, which he used
Awesome, man.
in a few other episodes. Ata. So I was like, okay, it can't be too much like that, and it can't be too much like the Adventure Time. So I'm kind of in between it, and then I'll make my voice weird so that it's unique in its own way.
Yeah.
But then after I heard it, I was like, I don't know if I want people hearing
No, it's perfect. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
my
then like
voice.
the funny thing was like, he was like thinking, okay, I hope people don't recognize my voice. Then literally,
Nope.
like the first few, like
everybody.
my sister watched the first video with the theme song, and she's like, "Is that Anton?" And I was like, she got it.
The jig's
then I'm
up.
like thinking, okay.
jig's
Sounds
Pretty
up.
much
distinct
better.
picture, if you ask me.
It is like based from our voices, like they're like, yeah, it's him, it's him.
Yeah, we can go process
That's
of
my
elimination.
gift to the world.
Verbal.
I will humiliate
No.
myself for the enjoyment and pleasure of other people.
But yeah, it's mostly that just seeking those dead hours in a day and bringing life to them, like injecting them with life. So yung model ko parate is if Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, can make a show, Atlanta, can do stand-up, can make Grammy Award-winning music, if he can do that, I mean, anyone can do anything. I know he's incredibly talented, but hell, it's not all coming from talent, and skill is something you can learn. So we're still young, relatively. So why not use the time and our potential to be someone we're not now and someone we aspire to be. So
Felt that
Mhm.
like as someone listening to him and as someone like in a similar like situation, right? Where sometimes like we do feel not motivated for like making this content because it's really hard to find time and find the meaning and purpose of why you're doing this, right? But with everything that like Tana said, like this really gives me, and I hope all of us, like the four of us, like the validation that we really don't have to do this for anyone but us. But we want to share this with everyone
Yeah.
else just because we want people to, feel all the love and and interesting, entertaining content that we it's hard to find now in a time like, especially in a
Yeah.
time like this where like there's bad news every day. People need a little more good in their lives, and any chance to make that happen, I think, is super worthwhile. And I love that, like Tano was saying, how I know there are a lot of people who probably do want to make podcasts or like any kind of content, but they're shy and they're scared. That's exactly how the four of us were. Like last year when this was still a joke to us, we were like, oh my gosh, imagine if we made Cuento like this
Yeah.
and everyone else heard it. Like, what would people think? But once we took that step, okay, let's just do it. We never know. Like, worst that can happen is someone's not gonna like it. Like the support that we've been getting, it's crazy, and it's so heartwarming to us to know that, like, even though we haven't been keeping in touch with a lot of people, that people saying that like stuff about our podcast and knowing that they actually watch us is our way of knowing that they still care, which is why we want to give back to them and everyone else by showing that we care about everyone too. And like, no doubt that's the same with Tano and his podcast as well, because that's really part of what inspired us, like from his content. He made us feel like we were catching up with him in every episode. So we just want to say thank you so much for everything that you've been putting out. We hope that you really continue, because you already have like 4 fans right here who are gonna continue supporting
Thanks,
you.
man. I
So
appreciate that a lot.
Hey you! Yeah, you! Like what you just saw? We're posting the video highlights of our episodes here on YouTube. If you want to watch the whole thing, the full audio version is available on Spotify. Thanks for watching!